Alright people, Mike Saladin here again. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm just playing a little bit of Dragon Age Origins on the Xbox Series X. This is the 360 version that I have, the Ultimate Edition with all the DLC and expansions. One of my favorite games of all time. Probably my favorite RPG of all time. I do really love the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which was my first big RPG I ever played. But I think Dragon Age Origins, with all the dialogue choices, the way you build your character, all the decisions that happen, all the romance options, there's just something about Dragon Age Origins that just it puts it over the top of other RPGs for me. Uh, the reason I'm going back to this game at the moment is because Baldur's Gate 3 is out. It's one of the most hyped games of the year. The best reviewed game of the year at the moment. I think it just overtook Zelda on Metacritic, for the PC version anyway. So it's doing great. It's getting like millions of players. It's sold really well, and it's not going to come to PS5 or console until later. I believe on PS5 it's out on September 5th. But yeah, no, September 6th, the same day as Starfield. So I'm probably going to actually play Starfield first, and go to Baldur's Gate 3 near to Christmas, maybe. By the time I'm done with Starfield, it'll probably be Christmas. And I think Baldur's Gate 3 will be a good Christmas game. But anyway, a lot of people have been saying Baldur's Gate 3, it feels like a sequel to Dragon Age Origins that they've been waiting on. Of course, Dragon Age Origins does have sequels, Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition. But a lot of people, like me, they sort of enjoyed parts of those sequels. I really found, and I think a lot of other people also found, that they'd moved pretty far away from the sort of tactical, classic RPG formula that Origins was using. And Origins, in many ways, was a spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2, which, of course, BioWare created back in the 90s and late 90s and early 2000s. Now, I never played those original Baldur's Gate games because they were on PC, and I've been a console player my entire life, so I've missed out on a lot of classic RPGs. But with all the hype of Baldur's Gate 3 and the way everyone's been talking about it, like it's a real sort of successor to Dragon Age Origins, it's made me really hyped, and I definitely want to get it when it comes to PS5. But again, at the moment, since I'm stuck on console, and I do have to wait for Baldur's Gate to come out, I thought I might as well just replay Dragon Age Origins, or at least replay some of it, just to get my fix of this classic RPG love that's going around at the moment. The thing about Origins, which really set it apart from the other Dragon Age games, and why none of the others really feel like sequels to it, is it's in the very name of the game itself. The Origins part of the title, you get to choose a background story for your character. There's actually 6 origin stories that you can go through, and it depends, of course, on your race and your class and your gender, what you pick, where you start off in the world of Thetis. It's a very unique setup for a game, and the other titles in the franchise, they never really came back to that idea. Uh, and I really wish they would bring back the sort of origin stories when you set up a character. I get that it's a lot of work to have like 6 unique intros. At least I think it is 6 unique intros, but it really immersed you in the world and added so much replay value to the game, and you really get into your character when you get to pick your character's origin and stuff like that. So today, I think I've decided I'm gonna be an elf today in this little playthrough. Female elf. I'm normally a mage because Mages really have like so much to do with the world in this game. Like they are one of the main reasons why anything happens in this franchise is the mages. You get so much dialogue to do with mages. Uh, so let's see. Yeah, I don't think I want to be a dude in this run. So I'm probably gonna be female. And let's pick the elf. The elf is the second choice you have here. Later on, there's a lot more races in the other games. Like you get to play as a Kunari and stuff like that, which is cool. But for the first game, you only have the three races. Normally, I pick mage, as I say, because like they're so involved in the overall storyline. But I think I'm gonna be a rogue today, rogue elf, because rogues they really get the most XP of any like class, because they're always disarming traps, unlocking chests and stuff like that. And here you can pick your background of city elf or Dalish elf. I'm going to be a Dalish elf, which means my character's going to start out in the forest. They're like a traditional sort of elf that refuse to live in cities or be ruled by humans. They're sort of like, I guess you could call them like outcasts. The Dalish elves, they're out living in the wilderness. City elves, they're like second class citizens. If they're in the cities, they have to live in their own like district called the alienage. They're not treated very well. And as far as I remember, the city elf origin, it is really really good. Probably maybe the best intro I would say, actually, because of like the way it's set up and all the lore that happens about humans and elves, and really sets up a really cool revenge plot line. But today, I really just want to start in the Dalish elf origin, mainly because I think it gets you into the combat really quickly. When you're a Dalish elf, you're just sort of out in the woods one day, and you encounter some enemies pretty quickly. And I think it gets you into the combat quicker than any of the other origins. So I'm just making my character here, messing around, going with red hair, to be so we can match Liliana later. Probably going to romance Liliana. Don't think we'll get to that in this video because it's probably just going to be the origin that I play through. And I might make another episode of this later if people watch it. But really, I make these things to sort of just entertain myself. So we'll see if I'm still wanting to play more of it later. Uh, so yeah, the Dalish, they're all well known for their facial tattoos. That's what sets another thing that sets the Dalish elves apart from the city elves, is they all have facial tattoos, and city elves don't have any of these markings. So yeah, so I'll just pick this one. I think I don't want to mess with anything else because the character, they look pretty good. And when you start messing with the eyes and the nose and stuff, sometimes your character can start to look a bit crazy. Uh, so yeah, I think the most I want to do is just change the mouth slightly. And ear size, well, they are an elf, so we'll give them really huge ears. This hairstyle means you can't really see the ears, so it's kind of pointless. But as long as we know ourselves that our character has huge elf ears, I think that's good enough. And our portrait, this is what's going to be shown on like the side of the screen with our other party members. So I think I'll just make this purple be the background because it stands out a little. And we'll turn the character this way. You don't really have to get involved in any of this, but I kind of just like arranging it this way. So yeah, this is my Dalish elf rogue. The voice doesn't really matter because they don't really speak in the game. Apart from when they're in combat, they'll shout out things and stuff like that. But as far as dialogue goes, again, none of our main character is voiced. It's all just picking text-based options. A lot of people don't like that, but I think it's actually better for this style of game because if you don't have to voice every line, you can have a lot more lines of dialogue and like branching dialogue than when you do have to voice the character because it's so much more work. The sequels, they did have a voice for the main character, and your options for your dialogue became, but like suddenly became very restricted. Um, I love to coerce people, as it's called in this game, which is basically just your persuasion. I only need 16 cunning, I think, and I'll put the rest into dexterity, just to start off. And I'll put 1 point into constitution, which is your health. So yeah, I need 16 to get full coercion. So I'll just put a point into the first option, and I want to be able to unlock stuff, so I'll go for the Deft Hands perk there. And also I'm going to dual wield blades, so I'll pick dual striking, I think. When in this mode, strike with both weapons simultaneously, and I think we'll choose a normal difficulty, just for a slight bit of challenge. So again, this character, they start out in the woods, out in the forest. There's really nobody else around. The elves like to live in isolation. The Dalish elves, they don't want to be bothered by anybody else. But in this origin, they very quickly get found by some humans, I believe. Yeah, they just run straight into us. So you can choose to just take them all out, or let them go free. My character, they're a bit of a rogue, a bit of a thief. They're going to be stealing a lot of stuff, but I don't think that they're like a cold-blooded kind of person. So they're probably going to let these humans live.
You're just in time.
Here's our friend Tamlin, I believe. He's not really important to the larger, the overall scheme of things, Tamlin, unfortunately. But for now, he's our one party member that we have, and I think he pretty much wants to take these people out. And he's probably in the right, because I do believe these humans, you get some dialogue later that if you let them live, they ran off to a nearby settlement and just started a lynch mob, basically. So yeah, we can give them a warning or whatever. But yeah, I want to question them first, see what they're doing here.
We didn't come here to be trouble. We just found a cave.
Yeah, they're just gonna tell us they found a ruin, and they were basically hunting for treasure.
We thought there might be.
So they're really like doing their best to kind of piss us off if you're getting into character, and you really you're hardcore into being an elf, and you're like, you don't want these people near your property or interfering with any ruins that belong to your people. So he's handed over some tablet or something that he found. There's elvish writing on it, which is strange because most elvish writing, anything with elvish writing, it's been all destroyed by humans or during various conflicts. So it's very odd that these humans have found something like that. Now again, I could choose to just execute them all, but we're going to give them a chance, even though it's probably the wrong thing to do. We could kill one of them and the others will be quiet. But yeah, we've frightened them enough so they will bother us. But they definitely will bother us, I'm pretty sure. So that's another thing. Sometimes the good, quote-unquote, good option of letting them live or something like that, it's not always the best option. And things can come back to bite you later. Like, I'm pretty sure we speak to the keeper, and she's just like, oh yeah, those humans you let live, they went to a nearby village and sort of turned the locals against us, despite the fact that you didn't hurt any of them. So stuff like that does matter, and you do get extra dialogue later depending on what you've done. So here's our buddy Tamlin. Yeah, the walking animation and everything, and it has aged quite a bit. And the background textures, it's all, like, it is very, very old looking. but I still love this game. So yeah, straight into the combat in this origin story. We've got some wolves we have to fight. I've stunned one of them. You do miss a lot of your hits at first in this game until you level up a bit and get your skills up. So I've taken out that wolf and Tamlin got the other one. We can research this Hala by just clicking on it. You get a codex entry. It's always good to just click on everything because codex entries give you XP. Here's a chest. Because we're a rogue, we were able to unlock that chest. Again, rogues, you really want to be a rogue if you're trying to level up a lot, because they get to like open chests and disarm traps, and there's always traps all over the place, and there's always chests that are locked and need to be opened, and if you don't open them, Liliana or someone will have to. Tamlin here, I'm basically stealing all his stuff. Oh, he's got a bow equipped now. Yeah, we'll take that as well. I'm taking all his gear because in the grand scheme of things, these opening party members, they never tend to last long, and you're not really going to see them again for various reasons after like each origin story. So I just rob each party member blind, and then I just sell their stuff to the first merchant I see, or I keep their weapons if they have a good weapon. And now, of course, he's going to be running around with no armor or any weapons. he's gonna be in all the cutscenes, just looking like this, which is pretty funny. But yeah, again, he doesn't really need his gear. To be honest, I do remember that, and I just like to rob everyone. And I mean, my character is a rogue, so they definitely would steal this guy's stuff, even if they are like their best friend or something. So yeah, always rob these early party members because you're not really going to see them again. And it's a good way to get some extra silver early on. I just noticed there's no subtitles on at the moment, so I'm just going to turn those on. That's the music. There's the subtitles always on. Yeah, we'll just put them back on. I tend to play most games with subtitles these days, just to make sure I don't mishear anything. So we're going to fight these giant spiders. Again, as a rogue, it's always best to attack from the back of the enemy. You do a slight bit more damage that way. Tamlin, of course, he has no weapons anymore, so he has to box everyone. But that's fair enough, because I'd rather he does less damage, because XP doesn't get shared between characters in this game. Whoever does like hits the final blow against an enemy, they're the one who gets the XP. So a lot of kill stealing goes on in this game, where you see a character about to take down an enemy and you run in there quickly and get the last hit so you can get the XP. So sometimes at the very beginning, again, it's a good idea to take your allies' weapons so they're doing less damage. Oh, and here's a trap we've detected, so we'll just disarm that. And we got some XP for doing that. Again, that's why it's always good to have a rogue in your party, or in fact just be a rogue yourself, so you can detect traps or have them pointed out to you. And disarming them gets you some XP. Oh, the spiders really just jumped on us. Maybe it was a bad idea to take Tamlin's weapon, because he can't really help us. We sort of distracted that other one over there, so I ran in and stole the kill from him there, because that spider, he'd done all the work and I just wanted the XP. So yeah, as a rogue we have a move to stun enemies, which is useful, so we can then get behind them and attack them from behind. So those spiders were worth 27 XP each, which is not massive, but at the start of the game you sort of just want to level up quickly. And being a rogue, again, I've found it's like the quickest way to get XP. I'm just checking if any of this stuff I've picked up is better than what I have. Again, I'm mainly going to be using like twin daggers until I find like a sword that's really good, and then I'll have a sword in one hand and then a dagger in the other hand. Mainly I do play as a mage, but just for this run I will be a rogue. And again, disarming traps, something you're going to be doing a lot once you're in like elven ruins or caves or out in the wilderness. You're always running into traps, and it's just a good idea to have some knowledge of them.
Now's better than later.
You can build your own traps as a rogue, of course, and set them down for enemies. And also some characters in the story or side quests that will involve somebody like wants you to build five traps for them or something like that. And again, it is good to have those kind of abilities. So these spiders are just sort of all over us at the minute because we're not that powerful yet. But I don't think we're in any real danger. So it's okay. And it is again pretty funny to see Tamlin just running around boxing people. Another trap over here. Better disarm that. And this is going to lead us back around to where we started, I think. But it's always good to just double check. Yeah, that's the way we came in. Just in case you're missing anything in any corners of a cave or dungeon or whatever. It's always good to go down multiple paths just to make sure you can collect everything. Because it's really a good idea to just grab everything and then sell all the stuff you don't need to whatever merchant you run into. Again, as a rogue, I was able to unlock that door, get some more XP. So here's some skeletons laying around that look a bit suspicious. I think they'll come into play later. And what we have here now is another statue.
Back when our people lived in our lab.
It looks a bit evil, but apparently, according to Tamlin, it's actually an elven statue. There is something a bit strange about these runes because they're human runes, but there's elven artifacts all over it, and like this statue is apparently elven. So it is quite interesting why any of this stuff would be here. And I think the mirror that we run into in this quest, it's an alluvian, which is a special kind of mirror that elves use to travel great distances. Accidentally triggered a trap there, so for some reason I didn't detect that trap, or I turned around too fast. But that's woken up all these skeletons, and now there's poison gas in the air, so I better run away a little to get out of that poison gas. These skeletons are actually pretty tough. Their health's going down really slowly. Tamlin's in danger over there. I wish he would run out of the gas. Well, at least he's distracting that other one. Okay, managed to stun this guy. Oh, 84 XP, and I took his head off. That was cool. Just a little kill steal there. Another 84 XP. Talman lost a lot of health, but I think we just wait out here. He'll recover. So yeah, the game auto saves all the time. Oh, bear monster or bear demon. Don't know if this is actually a dark spawn or a demon. But yeah, I think it is a demon that's come through the mirror or something, maybe. But we do later find out the Darkspawn have been involved in messing up these runes and turning them into like a source of evil or whatever. Talman's really doing no damage with those punches, but he is distracting the bear, so we can get in behind it, stun it, and get in some good hits there. Oh no, it turned around again. Quickly, come on, take him down. Talman's down. Oh, but we got him. 169 XP, nice.
By the creators.
And that was enough to level up. Sometimes you don't level up this early because Tamlin's able to do more damage and he's getting like equal kills with you. But again, because we never really see him again, I sort of don't like to have any XP wasted on like these starter party members that you get. So I'm going to put another point in the cunning and another one in the dexterity, and I think I need strength as well. We're going to put up our coercion to the 2nd level because I like to be able to persuade anybody about anything whenever the option comes up, so I'm always putting into coercion. It's basically like a charisma stat. Also, if you have high cunning, you can catch people out in conversations, which is really cool. Sometimes people will be talking like absolute nonsense in a conversation, and you can catch them out with a lie if you've got a high enough cunning to go, actually, that thing you just said doesn't line up with this other thing you said. What are you doing?
I'm not sure.
So you can actually stop your party member at any time and have a conversation with them.
Why would elven artifacts be here?
There's so much dialogue in this game. So many different branching dialogue trees. And again, depending on what your character's like, the abilities they have, and how high their coercion and stuff is, you unlock different things you can ask them about. Or during quests, if you're good at like potion making, a solution to a quest might be to make a healing potion for someone. And then if you have that skill, you're able to do it. Stuff like that is really cool in this game. And it's what was missing from like Inquisition and Dragon Age 2. They stopped taking into account just how all those like decisions you make, how your character affects what you're able to choose to do. They sort of got rid of that stuff in the other games. Again, I think it mainly was because they started having a voiced protagonist, and they couldn't have as many options and dialogue choices and stuff, because again, you're gonna be paying a lot more money to your main voice actor if they have like thousands and thousands of lines of dialogue rather than like a few hundred or whatever. One thing about Starfield, because I brought up Starfield earlier, that I like is that Bethesda have apparently gone back to a silent protagonist. So hopefully that game has more dialogue options. Baldur's Gate 3, I don't think you have a voiced protagonist either. You're just, it's like this, where you select from a dialogue box what you want to say. And I really do think that is the best decision for these really in-depth RPGs. And for me anyway, it lets me get more into the character when I'm not hearing like another voice. Whenever I choose to say something, so it really puts me in the character's shoes a bit more. But I understand some people, they do prefer having a voiced protagonist, and it's just, I guess it would be nice for some people to have that option, but you have to look at what you're gaining by not having that, and it's just having so much more dialogue options. And I think for me it's worth it to sort of trade having a voiced protagonist. So yeah, I'm just really questioning Tamlin about a lot of stuff here. Just to see how much, even in the opening, how much dialogue there is. With just, you didn't even have to stop him here at any point during this quest. Like, this isn't like part of the main storyline or anything. He didn't just walk up to me and like pause the entire game. I wanted to speak to him. So all this dialogue was optional. We didn't even have to do any of that. But it's just so cool that you can speak to so many people, and they have so many in-depth dialogue choices that you can go through. So I've picked up a lot of stuff here. I've got Tamlin's armor and stuff. I'm probably going to sell it as soon as I get back to the Daily Shelf village. Just making sure none of it's better than what I have. So obviously this big mirror here in this room, you're obviously supposed to go interact with it. But I'm going to walk around behind it and go over here and investigate this, because if I touch the mirror first, there's going to be a cutscene. There's some more stuff up here in this cave I think we can interact with, but I think Tamlin, he maybe starts a cutscene if you try to go in here. But again, it's always good not to just go straight towards your main quest objective and just look around a bit more, because it could lock you out of some like extra loot and stuff. So Tamlin, he called me back here. Uh,
Could be so
quite
dangerous.
funnily,
Don't
the
worry,
game, they
I won't
want to
break
force you
anything.
to
I won't
interact with the
hide
mirror,
on this floor.
and it's nice that they had
This is
dialogue for him going,
just it.
do you not even
There's
want to
something
look
you
at this
can
mirror?
do.
Why did we even come in here? Or whatever he just
Hold on,
said
I just
there.
want to know what it is.
It's
Can't you see
quite
it?
funny that
There it is again.
they did like plan for that. If the
It knows
player
I'm
tried to
here.
leave or
Just
something,
need to take a
they
closer
had
look.
some dialogue lines recorded for that, so that was a nice touch.
It's showing me places.
Again, I
I can
think
see
this mirror's called an
some kind of city.
Illuvian. Uh,
Underground. And there's a great blackness.
yeah, so this is an Illuvian, I'm pretty sure.
Help!
It's something Morgan's really interested in by the end of the game, or if you have the Witch Hunt DLC. So it's really cool that like those Illuvians, which they come back up in Inquisition as well. It's really cool that they were right here from the very first game, and they were introduced this early. So there's Duncan, who we saw in the intro. He's gonna save us and bring us back to our village. So yeah, we've been injured.
The God's own luck, Lethalon. You're back
Um,
at camp. Everyone is worried sick about you. How do you feel?
yeah, our friend Tamlin, he's missing now. It's implied that he got whatever
The Tem who
sickness
brought
we
you here saw no
also
sign of it.
picked up from the mirror. Our keeper, which is the leader of our clan,
I doubt we could have
she
driven this
managed
one
to
off. There was a
not
grey
fully
warden
heal
and
us,
appeared out
but
of
she
nowhere
managed
with
to
you
make us
slung over
well
his
enough
shoulder.
that
We were
we'll be able
delirious
to
with
help
fever.
Duncan.
He said that he found you outside a cave in the forest,
Uh,
unconscious and alone.
so yeah, nobody really
Left you here
knows
and ran off.
where Tomlin is. We
Keeper's
were
been
found
using
by
the old magic to
ourselves,
heal you.
and we had to get healed by the keeper.
Of course.
So
Most of the
yeah, is
hunters are
anyone
off
looking for
him right
Tomlin?
now. But the keeper wanted to talk to you as soon as you awoke.
Yeah, there's
Stay here.
hunters out there looking for her, but I'm pretty sure I think we actually see him again
See, you are awake.
at
Then.
some point.
It is fortunate I found you when you
Like
did.
we might find him
I know not what
as
dark
part
power
of
held you,
the
but it nearly did
the
last
Urn of
night.
Sacred
difficult even
Ashes
for my magic
quests.
to
I
keep
think
you
we
alive.
run into like a spirit version of Tamlin.
Yes. He
Or
introduced
something like
himself as
that.
the Grey Warden.
But yeah, it's
Duncan
really
thought there may have
implied
been
that
dark-skinned creatures inside the cave.
he's been
that
possessed
true?
or something by the evil magic in the Illuvian.
A mirror.
And
it
Duncan
caused all
pretty
this.
much tells us that
I have never heard of such a
the
thing in all the lore
Darkspawn
we have collected.
are responsible for messing
I
up
was
the
hoping for answers
Illuvian.
when you woke.
Um,
There are only more
I
questions.
don't think he ever calls it an
And Tamlin
Illuvian,
remains missing.
but I'm pretty sure that's
He
what
is
it is
more
because the
important than any
Murs, like
lore in
again,
these ruins.
Morgan's really
If
interested
he is
in
as
them.
sick as you were,
She's a
his
character that we
condition
meet
is
later
grave.
on,
Duncan
the
returned
witch
to the
character,
cave to search for Darkspawn.
and she's really
But we
invested
cannot
in
rely
finding
on him
these
to look for
magical
Tamlin as well.
elven artifacts.
We must go ourselves,
And
quickly.
yeah, they play a bigger
Do you
part
feel
in
well enough to
future
show us the
Dragon
way,
Age
Duncan?
games.
Without you, we will
So again,
not find
it was very interesting that there was one of
I am
them
relieved to hear.
that
I am
comes up
ordering
like
the
from
clan
the
to
very
pack the camp
first
so we
like
can go
origin
north.
story.
Take Merrill
One
with you
of
to
the
the
very
cave.
first origin
Find
stories that you
Tamlin
can
if
do
you can,
in the
but do it
franchise.
swiftly.
There's an Illuvian, like they planned this out
If
pretty
there is
well,
any
all the
truth to what
lore and
Duncan
stuff.
said, then Darkspawn may
Of
show
course,
up in these
there's
parts
another
soon.
character introduced
We
here,
must get away
Meryl.
from that horde.
Pretty sure
That
she
is not our
shows
only
up at
concern.
the start
Did
of
you
Dragon
encounter
Age
any other
2.
humans out in the
She's
forest?
one of the party members you can get in that
Although you
game.
hurt no one,
She's a little
these
bit different in
humans
this
roused
first
their
game.
nearby village against us.
I'm pretty sure
As
they've
everywhere,
redesigned
our
her
people are not welcome
in Dragon
here.
Age 2,
We have
and she
stayed
has
too
different
long,
voice
and we
actors
must
and
move
everything.
on,
She's only got a very
quickly.
minor role here. She's like our second
quickly, for Tamlin's
temporary
life hangs
party
in the
member.
balance.
So again, I'm probably going to steal
Master
all her
Arden can
stuff,
help you. Go
take
to
her
him and ask to
staff
see his stock.
and everything. She is a mage, of
Remember that
course.
Tamlin needs your
Most
help.
mages, they get sent off to like the
Darkspawn
circle
are savage, uncultured
to
creatures,
learn magic,
more
and
akin
they're
to
locked away in like a
locusts than men.
tower.
They may have befouled the cave, but they did
But the
not
daily
build
shelves,
what was there.
I don't
From the
think
warden's
many of them
description, it may
comply
have been a temple
to this
devoted
sort
to
of
an old
role.
god.
So
Should we return, I may see it
Meryl
for
seems
myself.
like she was allowed to stay here. But I think maybe if a clan, a Dalish elf clan, they
The
start
old
getting
tomes
too
say
many mages,
darkspawn come in as
one
many
of them will
varieties of
be
surface
sent off
creatures.
to the
They
to
also
like
say
the
that many
circle,
darkspawn are seen only during what the
because it's
humans
hard to
call a
keep like a lot of
blight.
mages hidden.
Perhaps your
And if they have
bearmaster
too
was
many
one of
mages,
those.
I think like local humans or something
Then
are
do
gonna
not
hear
tarry.
about that
Find
and
Tamlin quickly.
probably send someone, probably Templars who like they enforce the law around magic. If any mages start doing anything strange, the Templars are gonna come down on them hard. So we're gonna run around the village here, just steal some stuff. Um, Again, it's always good to investigate everything you see. You don't know what you're gonna pick up or what XP you're gonna get from reading a codex. Again, another chest here to open. Some more Dalish armor. This chest is impossible to pick. Not sure how we get in there. There's probably someone I could speak to who will open that chest. Uh, but again, all these like items I'm clicking on, like these books and scrolls and stuff, they all have like lore and codex entries for you to read. It's not going to be people aren't going to be interested in watching me read a load of codex entries, so I'm just picking them up for the XP at the moment. But more games should like they should attach XP to exploration like this, where anytime you find like a new statue or something, if you like read it or investigate it, you should get like some minor XP. Other games should do that. Like it really does, and like give you a good reason to explore around and look in every corner, just in case there's a chance to get some XP from something that doesn't involve combat, really. And it makes people curious about the
I'm glad you
lore
recovered. Once
when
we
they
find
click on a
Tamlin, we
statue
can
and get a
concentrate on the
codex
journey
entry or
northward.
whatever.
Thank you for the bow,
So
Master
this
Island.
is the one
It is
merchant
light
in the
and
village,
sturdy,
or
much better
I
than the
believe
one
he's
I
like a
made last time.
smith or
You're more
something.
than welcome. My father made it and used it
So
in
we're
battle
gonna
against the Claim
sell some
tribes.
stuff we've
I will carry it
collected
with
to him.
honor.
Because we're not really gonna need.
One of my own crafting, perhaps?
We're not. Oh yeah, we can persuade him to give us a bow, which I might actually just sell back to him as soon as we get it. So yeah, that's
They
another
all
reason
have a
why it's
history.
good to have
You'll provide one
coercion
for us soon enough.
early, or persuasiveness early.
Of
Is you
course.
do get
Take
quite a
whatever you
few
need.
options early on if you speak to everyone, to be able to like get items out of them and stuff. Yeah, I can't really afford anything he has, but let's see. I'm gonna say no. I think I'll keep the long sword. That was Tamlin's. I think I took it off him. Uh, all these bows. Don't think I'll keep one of them. I'm not really gonna be an archer. I'll sell most of these shields. I'll keep a few of them. Not for me, but for Alistair or someone who joins my party later. They might need a new shield. Um, Darkspawn short bow seems pretty good. I might keep that. Um, yeah, I don't need these doubles of Dalish armor that I've picked up. One of those was Tamlin's, pretty sure. I do have the Blood Dragon plate and some DLC items from previous playthroughs. I'm just gonna hang on to those for the moment. Keep the elf fruit and the craftable stuff. So let's just check. No, these aren't better than what I have. So I'll just sell this other set of Dalish armor then. Because yeah, it's the exact same as what I'm wearing. And I can't really equip this other DLC items because they're not for my class. But I can give them to Sten or Alistair or someone and make them useful that way. So yeah, the longsword, I'll just keep that in memory of Tamlin. We'll just equip that and then I'll sell these daggers, I think. The longbow, I think that's the one
back
that this
again.
guy just gave us, but we'll just sell it back to him. Which is
course.
pretty
Take whatever you
ungrateful
need.
of us, but yeah, we'll just do it. So yes, we'll sell these daggers. And the longbow. I'll keep these arrows in case we need them. And I'll keep 2 shields because I'll probably give one of those to Alistair. And maybe I'll give another one to Sten or something. I don't really need lyrium because I'm not a mage, but I'll keep these other things just in case I need them. I think when we get to Lotharin, which is the first like sort of settlement, that you need to build some traps and brew some potions. So I'm just going to take a few of these things just to be able to build those for that guy later. Maybe you can buy that stuff in Lotharin, but just in case, it really doesn't cost that much. And because I really made that silver selling Tamlin's armor, which is money I wouldn't have had otherwise, it feels alright to buy some extra stuff. Here's another statue, another codex entry. And there's Meryl over there, but we'll just collect this note first. Again, I don't really have time to read all that stuff today, but yeah, it is really cool that you're collecting all this lore and stuff. Another chest to unlock. Again, being a rogue, really useful for gathering up XP pretty quickly. And more Dalish armor.
Of course. Take whatever you need.
I think I'll just go sell that stuff because really we don't need any more Dalish armor. Yeah, here he is. Yeah, we're back again already. Surprised he hasn't asked us, where are you getting all this armor? Nowhere, I'm not stealing it from the clan and just selling it back to you, I swear.
We must make haste.
So my character, they do like money, I would say. They are a bit of a rogue, bit of a thief. But they're not cold-blooded, they're not gonna like execute innocent people. But they will, however, steal from anyone. Especially if they think the person they're stealing from doesn't really need the thing that they're taking from them. I think that's how I'm going to roleplay this character. So yeah, this is Meryl. She's a mage, as I said. She's got some pretty cool Tevinter armor. Raises some questions about why she has Tevinter armor. Because Tevinter, they're like a rival nation to Ferelden. They're like a mage only nation. Or a nation where mages rule the entire place. So it is a bit strange that she has Tevinter armor. And I'm gonna steal it from her in a moment. But first we're gonna fight her very first Darkspawn. I think you call these just genlocks. At least that's what I've always called them. So we'll just stun this guy. I was gonna try to kill steal from that one, but Meryl got to him first. Okay, yeah, there we go, 84 XP. Would have been nice to get another 84 off the other one, but oh well. I should have disarmed Meryl sooner so she couldn't do that. Again, I'm probably going to just sell her staff, but I might keep her robes. Because I'd be able to sell them.
Forget I said anything.
Or I'd be able to sell the staff and then give the robes to Morrigan, maybe. Because they might be actually better than Morrigan starts with. In my party, I always like to have a mage, and Morrigan, she always has like funny things to say in the background with your other party members. So it's always pretty good to bring her along everywhere. And she is pretty powerful once you unlock some more mage abilities for her. So yeah, just gonna steal Meryl's stuff. Again, she's gonna be showing up in cutscenes just dressed like this, not wearing anything. It's gonna be pretty funny. And yeah, we'll just rob these Darkspawn while we're here.
Back to the cave. If so, he's not here now. And we've seen no
There's that Hala which we saw before. The wolves didn't get to it, I guess. And here, yeah, here's Duncan's little camp. At least I think it was Duncan's.
Still, something's in the air. Something unnatural.
Yeah, Duncan's gone back to the ruins to investigate it. We don't really know if the Darkspawn are here because they followed Duncan or not, but there's a good chance that they were already hanging around. trying to spread like evil magic to this elven ruin or whatever. Like it's implied that they like vandalized the mirror some way or tainted it, so it would start making people sick. But yeah, Duncan's he's already in there fighting Darkspawn, but there's still quite a few out here, so we'll just take them out. Meryl can still cast magic without her staff, so she's going to be more useful than Tamlin when we disarmed him. So she's still going to be able to do damage. But yeah, I need her staff to sell, so I'll just keep it anyway. Yeah, I'll try to stun this guy. Get him in the back. Come on, nice, there we go. And yeah, we'll just rob these other Darkspawn. And I don't think there's any more enemies out here. So yeah, we're back to the cave already.
These are the ruins.
I'm not sure if this origin has the most combat of any origin, but I did like to choose it for this video because it does get you into quite a bit of action quite quickly.
I can't imagine he's still alive with
Some other origins have a lot more dialogue and stuff. It's just so funny seeing Meryl run around like that without any robes.
Let's just pray we're wrong.
But again, all these early party members, like you're not really gonna see them again. So yeah, why not just steal their stuff? I mean, they're not gonna need it, and it's like a good way to get some gold and silver early on. Cause I think Meryl's robe, the Tevinter robe, is actually worth like 1 gold, which is pretty good early on. But again, my main plan is to give that robe to Morgan, who I don't think we're gonna get to Morgan in this playthrough, or this video, I should say. Because I'm mainly just doing the origin today, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, stop running away! Ugh, why can't I hit you? Okay, stun and get round the back. I'm really not getting any hits on this guy. He's raged himself up or something, and I can't really get any hits on him. He's in berserker mode or something, that's why he's glowing red. Come on. You really do miss so much early on. And Meryl was able to take out this other one, it seems like. Okay, so we'll just rob them of anything useful they have. Okay, we got 20 bronze coins from that guy. And what the one I was fighting of? Some shiny stone. All the traps are still disarmed from the last time. That's good. They don't reset. Although I suppose if they reset, I'd be able to get XP from disarming them again. But oh well, probably makes more sense that they stayed disarmed. And I'm not sure if you like run past any of the traps without touching them, if they still, if they stay armed when you come back here the second time. But I guess they do. We've detected a load of traps there. I guess the Darkspawn put down some. So it's going to be a good opportunity to get a lot of XP when I disarm all these traps. Yeah, a load of leg hold traps. Again, this really shows why you want to be a rogue, I say, because like look at how much XP I'm getting from disarming all these traps. Oh, and it was actually enough to level up again. Nice. And then we'll just steal all this stuff. Dexterity and strength, because I want to be able to hold some good swords later. And we'll put up something else. Dual sweep attack. Yeah, that'll be useful. So we're really just heading back to the room with the mirror in it. Don't think there's anything else out here to really fight. Again, it's always good to check around everywhere just in case there's some more enemies.
off my back.
Okay, that's a pretty tough enemy over here.
Alright.
We'll just take out this guy first, though.
Alright.
Come on.
Now better than later.
Meryl, you stole my kill.
I'll get on it. Alright.
Oh well, I suppose it's fair. I did steal your clothes and your staff and force you to fight barehanded, but
Can I get you
okay.
so you can get off?
I really want to take out this Herlock emissary before Meryl because it's going to give me like 100 XP, pretty sure. Come on, don't lose this kill. Come on. Yes, 169, and I took his head off. That was a really nice, satisfying animation.
Done. Anything else?
Come on, get him in the back. Get him. Come on. Oh, Meryl got that one too. But I think it's okay because I got the Herlock emissary, which was the most XP there. And I got to disarm all these traps, so that sort of makes up for it. And unlock this door, which was another 20 XP. Again, being a rogue, it's just a path to so much more XP. I do think mage is my favourite playstyle though, just because using magic's so cool in this game, like all the different spells you get. But yeah, we just decided to be a rogue today because the mage origin story, it forces you to be in the tower, and there's not a lot of combat in that origin, so I thought this one would be a bit more interesting.
And Darren Atisha and Duncan of the Grey Wardens.
So yeah, we're gonna meet up with Duncan again. He's just gonna explain what he was doing in here. We're gonna question him why he didn't come help when all the fighting was going on. He's just like, well, I had to fight people too. Can't you see all these dead bodies in here? So yeah, it's understandable. And also he's just not gonna question why my party members just got no clothes on. I believe in Baldur's Gate 3 you can get rid of your entire party's armor and clothing, and everybody goes around naked, and people do actually acknowledge it. They're like, what the hell are you doing right now? And that sounds like it'll be pretty funny. But yeah,
Unfortunately,
I guess RPG makers know people like to steal their party members' clothes,
The keeper knows how to
so
cure it.
it's been a tradition for a long time.
she cannot cure it.
I'm actually curious about if Baldur's Gate, like the original and the second one, if you were able to just take your party's armor and stuff, that would be pretty funny.
First, we deal with the mirror. It
So
is
yeah,
a
Duncan's really
pestilence and a
explaining
threat.
about this sickness and how really there's not really going to be a cure for us. It's actually worse than we thought, and so the only way out of this situation is really if we join the Grey Wardens, because by becoming a Grey Warden, it's not really going to cure our sickness, but it's going to keep us alive
Now let's leave this accursed place.
by
I
counteracting
must speak with the
whatever's
king
happened to us.
regarding your cure.
But eventually we are still going to live a shorter life because of how being a Grey
There is
Warden
nothing
works.
we can do.
You live until you're like 50 or 60 or so, and
There
then
is nothing you can do for him.
you get like
He's been
this
tainted for 3 days
calling,
now,
I think the
unaided.
Grey Wardens
Your
call it,
keeper's healing
where
arts
you
and your
just,
own willpower.
it's time
You
for
did
you
not
to
die.
pass on,
But Tamlin has
basically,
no chance.
the tainted
Trust me
blood
when
that
I
you've
say that he
taken
is
in to
gone.
become a Grey Warden.
Now we should
It's like
return.
it's about to take your life, so you get this urge to go into the deep roads to fight a
With the
final
mirror
battle,
destroyed, I doubt the darkspawn
or
will
whatever.
return.
So
When we
we're
return
gonna
later
do
and
that
search for
instead
the
of just let this
we could learn
sickness
some
take
many
us
things besides
at the
mirror.
moment.
The cave is not safe.
I'm gonna
Everything
tell
in
him
it was
I'm gonna
close
look
to the
around
base
here a
camp.
moment because
If
there's
your people
there's
must
still
come
some
here, they
stuff
should cleanse it
behind
with
this
fire.
mirror that I want to investigate. Pretty sure.
If you
So
prefer,
yeah, after
I
he
can wait
destroyed the
outside
mirror,
while
he
you look
thinks
around.
it's what was
But I
like
assure you, he
drawing
will
darkspawn
not
here.
be
He doesn't
I
think
suggest,
any of them will
however,
come
leaving
back
sooner
here.
rather than later. You are sick, whether you feel it or not.
But
and
he
it does
still
you no
thinks
good to
everything in
linger.
here's not safe.
As you wish. I will see you back at camp.
We're just gonna tell him we're not ready to give up the search just yet. But really, we know Tamlin's not really gonna be coming back. Instead, I'm just here to sort of loot some stuff that's in that cave behind the mirror. So we'll just ask Duncan to wait outside until we steal some stuff in here. Because I don't think you ever get to come back here, so if you decided to just leave with him right then, you wouldn't get to get this stuff that's up here. So it's pretty cool that like there's a reason to request him to stay outside, and that the game rewards you by having some hidden stuff in this little cave here. Another chest first to rob, and another little codex entry. Of course, touching that stuff awakens these skeletons, which so it was a bit of a trap. You could say this was a punishment for not listening to Duncan, but again, I think of it as a reward because I mean, we're gonna get some XP for taking out these skeletons, and it's like, look, it's 84 XP per skeleton, so this early on it was worth coming in here, I think.
I'll get on it. Now's better than later.
Come on. There we go. Oh, the archers are only worth 27. But still, it was some more extra XP. And we got to find some like cool little extra things down here. Oh, there's a few more up here I didn't realise. Another 27 XP. And another 27. This little statue thing down here, it basically tells us that this is a symbol of the dwarfs, or the dwarves even. They accidentally tunneled up from one of their mines or something, and they came out in this ruin, and they met up with the elves that used to live here, and there was like a little trade route for a while. But it says it was short-lived, whatever happened. So yeah, this entire tunnel, it's basically implied that it exists here because the dwarves accidentally came here. So maybe they dug up that tunnel to this area, and then the darkspawn got in through the deep roads, and it actually turned into a disaster for the elves that lived here. But who knows, because it's also a human ruin, as Tamlin said. So maybe this was like somewhere humans were actually holding elves captive or something.
I was not expecting.
I don't think it ever gets explained really what this ruin was completely, but there's a lot of clues and a lot of speculation that you can do. And again, it's one of my favourite origin stories in this game. It's really cool seeing the elves and getting some lore and history for them. So basically, Duncan's gonna he's gonna ask the keeper for permission.
I destroyed the mirror.
Actually, we're gonna explain that Tamlin, we couldn't find him,
I trust you had good
and it's
reasons
most
for your
likely
actions.
that the Darkspawn
much
have
to
taken
discuss,
him
Keeper.
or whatever.
I have learned a great deal since I was lost here.
Let us
And
speak
yeah,
privately
Duncan's gonna
within my
confess that
Aravel
he
then,
smashed the
Duncan.
mirror because it was like
Warn the
completely
hunters.
evil,
If Darkspawn are
and there
about,
was
I want
really
the
no
clan prepared.
good use for it.
One of you, Innkeeper, right away.
Darlene,
Keeper's a
allow
bit
me some
mad
time
about
to
that
speak to
because she
Duncan.
wanted to
Seek us
investigate
out
it,
at my Aravel
see
later,
if we can
and
be
discuss
cured.
your cure.
Meryl's still just
Tell
got
her
new
in
clothes
private
on.
what has
It
occurred.
would be funny if
She
they
now
had
has the
recorded
sad
dialogue
task
for
of
people
preparing your
noticing
service for the day.
if you weren't wearing
Follow me,
armor.
Duncan. I'm eager to hear what you have to say.
I think in Skyrim and stuff, actually, if you're not wearing any armor, guards are gonna ask you what you're doing, or people will comment on it. But yeah, Skyrim came out a bit after this
I
game,
can't do that.
when things advanced a little bit. But yeah, again in Baldur's Gate 3, apparently you can just take off everything you're wearing
I see you have
and
not returned
walk
with young
around like that
Talon.
for the entire game,
Are
and
we to
everyone you
assume the
encounter
worst?
will be have something to say
A
about it, I
sad day
think,
for our clan.
which is pretty
I
funny.
know you and Tamlin were friends.
There just sounds like there's
My
so much
condolences on
detail
your
in that
loss.
game. I can't wait to play it. And really,
May the
I hope
creators guide your
that
path.
by Baldur's Gate 3 becoming so big, and a lot of
Ah,
people comparing
back
it to
again?
Dragon Age Origins, that more
Of
people
course.
come back
Take
and
whatever
play
you
this
need.
game, and that they get really like they give this Dragon Age Origins, or can't even speak. They give Dragon Age Origins another shot if they bounced off it in the past, or maybe a lot of people these days haven't even heard of Dragon Age Origins. some people I know they only played Inquisition and they didn't even know Inquisition was a third entry in the series, because I think Dragon Age Inquisition they wisely dropped the numbers from the series because they want to scare off new players. So a lot of people just played Dragon Age Inquisition, and it's just called Dragon Age Inquisition. So they don't know there was other games before that really. Or maybe they do know and they haven't got a good way to play Dragon Age Origins. Maybe they don't have an Xbox Series X and they don't have backwards compatibility or whatever. But yeah, I hope people like they enjoy Baldur's Gate, and it really helps the Dragon Age series get some more players as well, with people comparing them and enjoying the stuff that's similar in each game.
I'm so glad everyone made it
And
back safely.
it's really good for the fantasy genre as a whole in video games when there's more competition and there's more
So you
people
return
trying
with the
out
Grey
more
Warden, but
different
without Tamlin.
genres of
What
RPG.
happened, Galen?
A lot
Is
of
he
people
truly
they're
lost to
trying
us?
to tear down. They want to pit these games against each other in a negative
Even if
way
he's not, we
and
must
be like,
leave
look how much
somewhere.
better Baldur's Gate is than
Think I
Dragon
can
Age and
this.
stuff like that.
It seems the will
But I
of the
think they're trying to
creators that I
do
sing the
two
dirge
different
for
kinds
those
of
I held in
thing.
my arms as
And
babes.
I do understand people being
I think I know
frustrated
why our
with the
immortal
Dragon Age
ancestors will
sequels that
snap.
they moved a bit more into action RPG than like
With
traditional
stars burn a path
tactical
across the
gameplay or
sky.
whatever.
Hastening
But
to place
again,
one
I think
last kiss
competition's
upon your
healthy,
eye.
and I hope
Tenderly
like
land enfolds you in
it just
slumber,
encourages more people
softening
to
the
play
rolling thunder.
just
Dagger,
RPGs in
now
general.
seated. No
And that
longer tense.
these kind of games they get like a
During
new
this,
audience from
your
Baldur's
last
Gate
hour.
3 being so hyped.
Only silence.
Because I have been seeing like a lot of new YouTube videos like saying trying Dragon Age for the first time after beating Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. So that's really cool to see,
Of course.
and I hope it actually helps
We've
build
no
a little
body
bit of
to
hype
return to the soil.
for Dragon
But
Age
we shall
4
still sing
or
for
Dragon
Tamlin.
Age Dreadwolf as it's just gonna be
Creators
called.
must come to guide them to
Because
the
some
beyond.
early
Now
footage
the
from that
keeper
leaked and
shall be done
people
before the
weren't
clan
that
ready to
hyped.
move on.
I think they didn't like the look of the gameplay, but who knows how early that footage is from development.
It's imperative
And
now
how,
more
if
than
it's even
ever
going to
to
look
pass on
anything
what we
like
know
the
to
final
young.
game.
Let us tell
And
these children of the fall
I
of the
think
Dales. You can
I
honor
think
me
people were a
by
bit
sharing
down
my
on
telling.
they've been down on BioWare for a long time, and to be fair, BioWare have put out some sort of
Come then,
mediocre games
help me
since
as
the
I go
original
along.
Dragon Age
Children,
Origins.
hear of
I
the
think their
fall of the
last like
Dales.
excellent
Hear the tale of what makes you
game
Dalish.
that you really can't
Would you care to begin,
like sort of
Galen?
drag down in any way was probably Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 3 has its fans, but there's a lot wrong with that game.
Yes.
Besides the
Slave
infamous
to a
ending.
terrible
And
empire.
then Mass Effect
The humans
Andromeda,
built on the
again, a
darkest
lot of
magic.
problems,
When
didn't
it
really
fell,
find
we
the same level
became
of
free.
success as the
We built
original
a
Mass Effect
homeland in the
trilogy.
Dales,
And then
worshipping the
BioWare
Creator,
was sort of
and
forced
rebuilding
into
the culture and
making
history we
Anthem,
lost in our
it seemed
long
like,
years of slavery.
which was an online battle royale type thing, or some sort of shooter. I can't even really remember
They
what
were
Anthem was, to be
resentful,
honest, because I had
because
so
we would
little
not
interest in
worship
it.
the gods.
But yeah,
And
there's been a
because
lot
we
of
put our people
failures.
first,
And
over the
EA or
years,
whoever,
their nations
the
grew
publisher
cold toward the Dales.
who like owns BioWare,
In
they've
their eyes,
been pushing
we
them
were
in a very
blasphemers
strange
and cruel
direction
tyrants.
for about a decade. And hopefully, after the success of
And
Baldur's
so
Gate
the
3,
Dales fell.
someone
They
at
took our
EA is
lands
watching that
and
success
dispersed our
and
people,
going,
forcing us to
maybe we
live
should
in their
actually just
cities and
let
abandon
BioWare
our
make
gods.
RPGs
But
in an
many of
old
us
school
refused
style
to relinquish our
and not
ways.
try to force
We
modern
instead
trends
chose
onto
to
them,
scatter to the winds,
because
wander
there's
the
quite
land.
clearly an audience for these games. Baldur's Gate 3 has blown up
survive
to
and
be
preserve
like
our
one of the
culture.
the
clans
like most
stay
beloved
apart
games of the
until
year.
the day the Elven Eye
Like
have a
it's got
homeland once more.
800,000 concurrent players the last weekend there. So there's a huge audience. It's selling really well, reviewing really well. and I think it's gonna be like
We
this
are the
decade's
Dalish,
Witcher
keepers
3
of the
probably.
lost lore, walkers of the
What
lonely
Witcher
path.
3 did for RPGs the last decade, it seems like Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna be
Thank you for your forbearance.
it's gonna be
tonight.
the success
You
story for
remember
this
both the
decade,
tale and the oath of
which
the Dales
everybody's gonna
perfectly.
compare
I'll
other
let you get on with
RPGs
your
to.
business now.
And I just hope like other developers do take notes and
course. May
they're
the gods
confident
guide your
in
path,
like just
Talen.
being an old school RPG and not really adding on microtransactions or online elements or this live service nonsense,
Your
which
keeper and I have
people who
spoken,
want to play
and we've come to an
RPGs
arrangement that
are
will
not really
serve you.
interested
My
in.
order is in need of
Stop
help.
trying to make
You are in
everything
need
an
of a cure.
MMO.
When I leave, I
Sometimes
hope you
people
will
just
join
want
me.
a single
You will
player
take an excellent way
storyline.
home.
And
Yes,
they just
darling.
want no
Your
extra
life
nonsense.
depends on it.
And if you
The
stick to
darkspawn
that
taint
and you
courses
put
through
your
your veins.
heart and
That you
soul
recovered
into
at
it,
all is remarkable.
and
But
you
eventually
make it the
taint will
best
sicken
game
and
that
kill
it can
you, or
be,
worse.
you're
Grey
gonna find
Wardens can prevent
success
that.
the way
My friends,
Larian
join
and
us.
Baldur's Gate 3 have.
I welcome you to
So
the
yeah,
order.
that little
It
rant
is
about
rare to have a
BioWare and
Dalish amongst us,
Dragon
but
Age
they have
4 out
always
of the way.
served with distinction.
I
I
think it's
know you
pretty
do
much
your
time to
clan
wrap up
proud,
this
darling.
video.
Take this ring.
Basically,
It is your heritage.
Duncan's
and will
gonna
protect
take
you
us to
against the darkness
Ostagar,
to come.
A valuable
and we're
gift.
gonna meet Alistair
So,
and everyone
are
else,
you
but I
ready to
think
go?
that's gonna take this video to its
We have
conclusion
much
because
ground to
Ostagar is a
cover,
whole
but I
nother
cannot deny you that.
involved
Say
sort
your
of
farewells,
opening prologue
and we
area.
must be off.
Even though this origin
then,
is
darling.
already like a prologue,
Before the
Ostagar's
creators
like
guide
the
you from
second
us,
half of the
let your
prologue,
clan
really.
embrace you one last
So
time.
yeah, I think we're gonna leave it here today. Thanks for watching, and I hope people are enjoying Baldur's Gate 3 if they're playing it, and if they've discovered Dragon Age through people comparing them and they want to try it out. I would definitely recommend trying it out, and I hope you enjoy Dragon Age Origins as well. And it's just a really good time for RPGs and the fans of RPGs.